And welcome back to the program. Linda, how are you?
Oh, I'm great. Thank you, Michael, for having me on.
No problem. Thanks for spending some time with us all here. And the last time you were on the program, you took us down the rabbit hole for sure.
Yeah, I need to kind of laugh right now. It's just been some really trying times.
Oh, I understand.
Kind of get me to giggle a little bit, you know?
Sure. And the listeners were very, very receptive of you. Many people were wanting you to return right away.
Oh, well, tell them thank you. I just appreciate it. I'm just a messenger, you know?
Yes.
Oh, gosh.
Lots of business to take care of tonight. There are some 5G hotspots you missed out the last time we talked, and I know you wanted to go over them again. And, of course, I do have some questions before we get right into these things, and I think we might have briefly talked about that. Those listeners out there want an insight on who Linda Emmanuel is.
Oh, my. We got a couple hours.
We got time.
No, I'm just a regular person who turned her life over to God. The Christian God. And I think I got told today that I was born to do this. Before I was born, I came down to do this. I can't believe how they could, how they knew that this was going to happen. I'm 69 years old. That's ancient, and I never in my life believed I would ever be sitting here talking about this subject. Feel honored or horrified,
I didn't even know you were 60 years old. I couldn't even tell.
Oh, I'm I'm very wise, with experience, But,
you sound very young.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it takes many years to go through and get wise and learn things. And if I was 20 years old, I'd be interested. I don't know what I would be. I'd probably be wanting to go to a bar and do rap, or karaoke. I'm past that, and I'm a truther, and I just want to serve people and serve God and do something positive for the world.
Right, and right now would not be a good time to go to a bar, however.
No.
Bad time.
No,
right.
I'm past that.
So, Linda, you grew up in what I believe, or I'm led to believe, was a pretty normal American family upbringing, correct?
Yes, I was raised in the United Church of Christ, and my family, I was very naive when I got married. My parents didn't drink, smoke, or gamble. It wasn't religion. They just didn't do that. And every Sunday we go to church and have chicken dinner for lunch, and it was just a typical beaver cleaver family.
Right.
My mom didn't wear pearls when she vacuumed, but just typical family.
And nothing traumatic happened to you during your adolescence? No. Pretty rare. Okay.
I don't think so.
Understood.
I had a spiritual awakening when I was exactly 49 years old.
Oh, okay. Going back to your adolescence, did you ever experience, let's say, something like sleep paralysis?
No. No.
Wow.
No.
And so no strange encounters with what would be considered, quote unquote, the paranormal?
No, I didn't ever have any of those experiences when I was young. Not like George and Maxwell or anything like that.
Understood.
No, I just grew up just like everybody else, thinking the world was rainbow and lollipops, that there weren't evil people out there, that everybody just, we went home and everything was closed on Sunday, and you did family things, and went out and roller skated when you're a little kid, and ice skating in the winter, just the typical
normal stuff. Yeah.
But then I think I'd always kind of been searching for the truth. So I just didn't have a thing for religion. I'm not pushing, criticizing anybody's belief. I just searched. I'm a why person. Always been. Why? And I just wanted to find out, and found out about religion, and was searching different. I was Baptist. I studied one time for about a year. I studied with the Jehovah's Witnesses for a year until they told me what to do, and I said, nobody tells me what to do. I'd been searching, and then when I met Judy Goodman, I think you can go to her site. She's in Atlanta. That's who I listened to her talk, and that was my spiritual awakening. And I was supposed to wake up then. Yeah, and I turned my life. It's a different kind of thing than. It's a different kind of experience than a Christian experience, like if you're Baptist. When you have a spiritual awakening, you really know who you are, and you know that you kind of go through some forgiveness things, and it's really the hardest person to forgive is yourself.
I agree wholeheartedly.
It's so easy to, I'm talking about a real spiritual awakening when you really know that you're a spark of God, that you come back and there's no death.
Understood,
it's just a totally different experience than a Baptist one where you stand up and said, I'm saved, and next week you're backslid,
And
totally different experience. You realize you're responsible for what you've done and that you have to forgive yourself for if you've done anything to anybody.
And Linda, both of your parents, they weren't religious, were they?
Well, I don't think United Church of Christ are ones that don't drink. They just grew up under good families, and I don't know. I had a connection with my dad in a past life, but I think it was the first time I've been with my mother and my other siblings. But,
I see.
I've kind of gone my own way. My rest of my family think I'm kind of crazy, I guess.
Understood.
Okay.
We've all been there, right?
One's real strict Baptist, and the other one, they've seen all these miracles, yet they don't believe it. But they're kind of herd mentality. One's a doctor and one's a nurse, and they're just totally
they're normies,
brainwashed, I guess.
Yeah, they're very
normal. You said, yeah, they're probably normal. I'm not.
Well, we call them that, but most of the time, these are sort of the individuals that I talk about on the show that are slightly brainwashed.
Oh, they are. They are.
I think a lot of people are.
Yes, and you don't really realize it until you go out now and see all the people wearing masks on the outside,
Oh, my goodness.
Then you start saying, I thought everybody was like me, No, they've got those masks on, and you're like, wow.
Well, I'll bring up the mask right now. I did want to bring up COVID, but yes, I did want to mention COVID here, but before we jump right into that, I just wanted to quickly finish up with your background here for the newer listeners, of course, Linda, and currently with, I believe, your son, correct?
Yeah, I live with my son. Actually, he's a walk-in.
Is he okay?
You know what a walk-in is?
No, what do you mean a walk-in?
Well, let's see. The son that was born to me,
mm-hmm.
We had a head-on car crash, when he was 10 months old. Nobody was killed. And that was such a trauma. At 10 months old, I didn't know it at the time. This was 82. I didn't even know about mycoplasma. And when he was 10 months old, that was a trauma. We went through trauma. And from then on, at 10 months old, he didn't walk till he was 3. He didn't potty go till he was 7. And I didn't know what was wrong with him. Not until 2003, when I found out about mycoplasma, did I realize what happened. Well, he had a really tough childhood. Kids thought he was retarded. He couldn't understand tomorrow. He went to special school district in diapers. And that soul had such a hard time that another soul came down and took the place of him. And you know what? My son that lives with me now, he's totally different. And he doesn't call me mother. He doesn't call me mom. He doesn't call me Linda. I say to him, call me anything. Anything.
Mm-hmm.
Call me nothing. He'll just say, hey, you.
Hey, you.
And he's not the same person that was born to me.
He's like a different guy then, or a different soul rather, right?
Yeah. And that's a walk-in.
You need to bring him on the show sometime, Linda. We need to bring him in here. We need to mic him up.
He's kind of shy.
Oh.
He's very spiritual.
Very spiritual.
He's more spiritual. He woke up before I did. He's from, what do they call that? Lemuria?
Lumeria.
I don't know the significance of that. And I'm I don't want to tell you where I'm from. I can, but I don't want your listeners to hang up.
Oh no.
But I'm not from the Pleiades. I'm not from Venus or anything, or Lemurian. I'm from the angel realm.
You're from the angel realm, okay.
Yeah. And it's kind of sad because maybe I'm not part of a soul group, like a bunch of souls come down together. I kind of feel slighted. And I'm not an ascended master. I'm not at all. I'm just I volunteer for things that I've been told that nobody else will do.
Understood. So you feel like you are sort of on a mission.
I didn't know it at the time. I just told God I wanted the full experience, meaning whatever I could do to help, I'd do it. And oh my gosh, what I've been through, Yes. I was told there's an angel mystic by the name of Jacqueline Ellis. I don't know. She's on the web. And when I first woke up, and she said to me, they're saying all you have to do is show up. All you have to do is show up. Willing. Yeah, show up. And I've been kicking and screaming and sometimes complaining, but I've always showed up,
Right.
They said all you have to do is, like right now, all I'm doing is showing up. I'm the voice of Mosh, M-O-S-H. He's an ascended master. He's from the Pleiades. Is it okay if I say this?
You could say that.
Is it okay? He's from the Pleiades, and he's been with me since February, since this pandemic started. And we've been communicating with me, I guess, for the last month. He's kind of come through before, but now I know who he is. I always thought it was Creator, but it was him. And he had only one life on Earth. I'm not supposed to say who he really is, but people will figure it out. He's only had one life on Earth about 100 years ago. And he came down to save humanity, and he kind of could have, but the Jesuits killed him. So he does not want to be known by that name. And he's a specialist in frequency.
Amazing.
He's a genius.
Right. And yes, let's...
It's not Tesla, no. But I mean, people will figure it out if they think about it 100 years ago. So he's from the Pleiades. He's ascended master. And he went into the Galactic Center, and Creator asked him to come down here and do this. And I really do have a feeling, since he couldn't accomplish the total mission 100 years ago or whatever, about 90 years ago, that he's here to accomplish the mission now. And he's here to save humanity. There's other people working too, okay? I'm not alone. I'm not the only one doing this. So he's here to help people, tell them, to be safe, where to go, the hot zones, this 5G, I have no idea about these frequencies. He's given it all to me. And I'm like, huh? This is not me. I'm just the, what do you call it? The instrument.
Yes.
I'm the in-between, the conduit, or I don't know what they call that.
You are a vessel, in other words.
Yeah, I guess so. I don't know. I didn't know that. I know the term, but I didn't know what to call it. But I'm just here. I'm just showing up. Okay.
Sure. I hear you.
I'm just showing up. And this is such a big event.
Yes, I could hear it in your voice.
People need to be informed. People need to be, I don't want to say, your listeners are probably all educated, but they just need, and to understand what's going on and what they can do, how, what, why.
Yeah, and like I said, the listeners are very, very passionate about this subject, just like you are, Linda. And yes, let's get into COVID for a moment here. People are losing their minds. People have lost their lives, obviously. The financial and emotional impact this is having on all sorts of people out there. I was sort of thinking about that early this morning, and my goodness, it was kind of sad. I was feeling kind of bad for all these people. Yeah.
I don't know if I should bring it up now. I'm involved with the 5G now. Okay. And the things Mosh is doing right now through me, I'm going to say it like that, is so important. This will save your life. Okay. And I went to a group last week that was supposed to be 5G, and they're all talking about masks. Let's go out and we'll demonstrate. Don't wear the mask because it's bad for you. And then a lot of them knew me, and they've been to my website, and they go, oh, that's really interesting. I like your website. And I said to them, this information has to get out of there. And this one guy said to me, this is more important. We got to deal with the mask situation. And it was like I got kicked in the head by a mule. And then Mosh, M-O-S-H, whispered to me, he's part of the group that's going to be perished. It's his soul contract. You have to let it go. So when you present people with information, if they're not going to accept it, then you just got to walk away and accept it, because they were really involved with the 5G. Let me just tell you some stuff going on about this COVID and all this thing. All the things we have thought were so important to debate, our issues, our things coming at us, the wildlife project, that's baloney. That is not going to happen. There's not going to be king and queens of America that are going to be the elite sitting in their chair with servants and, they're going to go hunting in the no trespass zone. That's fake. That's a fairy tale. What's coming down is, and I don't know if I'm ahead of myself, okay? What's coming down is what's coming down on us is all about the Jesuits and the Chinese. Chinese want America, and the Jesuits is making it happen.
By the way, for those that don't know, Linda, can you tell us who the Jesuits are really quickly?
Well, they're the militia of the Vatican, and they were created about 1540 to combat the Reformation. And they just are so evil, and they just They've been broken up several times, and wherever they go into a country, they destroy it and they kill the people. They're just warriors for Satan. The Vatican Church really does worship the sun god Satan, you know. But okay, so the Jesuits hate. Well, they're the ones that created communism in Paraguay in the 1600s. And they're like the monarchs of Europe. They want slavery and total control and no rights for anybody. And when America got formed, it got formed while they were suspended by, I think it was Clements or something. He did a papal bull where he broke them up. And America was formed during this time. And ever since that time, they've had the revenge against America. So their revenge is going to kill every single person born on this soil. It's not going to be about artificial intelligence. It's not going to be about transhuman. That's a diversion. They want us dead. And China wants our land. They want the resources. They want the breadbasket. They want the water. Their water is so polluted. They want our country. And there will be no, if they get their way, and they're not, Moss is trying to make sure that, if they get their way, there will be no American left on this soil. Not even Ted Turner. The death they have planned for him is unbelievable. Trust me. He thinks he's going to be sitting on a throne in whatever state he's in. They are going to throw every American elite, these congressmen, the senators, they're all deception, thrown under the bus. They will be thrown under the bus. And I'll tell you the scenario, what is going to happen with them.
Yeah, go ahead. It's still very hard to deny any of these things that are happening, since we are sort of, at this point, it's obvious to me that there's been some sort of paradigm shift we've entered in the year 2020.
I think the energy is speeding up, but I have a feeling this is probably, in all probability, this event that's going to start October 28th. Hopefully it'll be a one-time event, and it's going to wake up America, because the people who are sacrificing their life to turn something bad into something good, people are going to have to wake up. This isn't about, they're going to come for you next. There's 5G towers all over this country. These cities that are going to be targeted are just the first. And then after they target these cities, they're coming for you. They're not going to stop unless we stop them. And it's most unbelievable. It's been very difficult for me the last month going through all this stuff he's revealing to me. See, he can, I know that this sounds really spooky. He's in the other side. He goes right to the nucleus of the Jesuits, and he tells me everything they're doing and what they're planning and the cities they're going to attack.
And we talked a little bit about this the last show, and there were some locations that you didn't get a chance to mention. Linda, do you have that list now?
Hold on. I'm just gonna turn my light on so I can see. I'm sitting in the dark.
Oh my, you need to turn the lights on.
Well, I'm not really in the dark, but I'm kind of like getting my light off, and I have an easier time to read. Mosh has given me all this, and they're still plotting out cities, which ones to attack. And he's told me just about every city, every state in the Union is going to have somewhere where the 5G is going to be turned on. And, I can go through the list if you like. And it's not a complete list, because I asked him just a while ago, is there any more cities to be added? And he said no. So as soon as he gets them from the Jesuits, he gives them to me. And then we go over the grid I go over the grid with him and find the boundaries where people can go to be safe, because you got to get out of these kill zones. And can I say this, Michael, that if you would have called me later, Moss just gave me how to survive the kill zone.
Yeah, it is pretty.
So I think it was meant to
outrageous.
Be that you were kind of late calling me. Okay, there's so much information.
Go ahead, Linda.
These cities?
Go for it. Yes.
Okay, hold on. It's a two-sided paper. I tell you, it's a long thing. Okay, I'm going to start sorry, I'm rattling here. Now, again, I don't have, some states yet don't have their cities designated, but there is a website called I can mention it later. Wait a minute, here it is right here. It's called test, one word, .net/OOKLA hyphen 5G hyphen map. Now that is a grid, a worldwide grid of all the 5G towers and where they're at. And this is, Mosh told me that this is the Illuminati's twisted, sick code of ethics saying, we told you so. There's the map. Not our fault if you don't get out, you know? So this is your grid, and I'm telling people, you gotta find out, gotta go to your, area, see where the 5G are, see where the towers are. And then you gotta have a plan where to go because, we've got so much to cover. This is a 3-month ordeal. Each hit of these cities.
3 months, okay.
Will be a 3-month deal. It'll be a kill zone for 90 days. And let's talk a little bit about the frequency, what they're going to do. Okay, I'm just going to mention these house fires out in California. Not all of them are direct energy weaponry. What they're doing, this is what Mosh told me. I'm glad I can say this because I'm not the authority here. Mosh told me that what they do to blow up these houses is surge the 60 gigahertz. 60 gigahertz is like a microwave oven. They surge that through the smart meter and the house just blows up and ends up in flames and down to dust. And so right now Sweden is under attack because they do not have smart meters, and that's what's saving their life. I don't know if I said that earlier, but Sweden is experiencing the 5G through the towers, but it's not 5G. It's 35 gigahertz. At 35 gigahertz, the atoms or the electrons on the oxygen O2 are spinning. And this makes it impossible for your hemoglobin, your iron to pick up the oxygen. So if you're in this zone too long, you're going to not be able to breathe. That's what all these people in New York, Queens was targeted with the 35 gigahertz towers and the smart meters probably. And that's what they were experiencing. It was only Queen was the only one targeted at that time. So there's 35 gigahertz. Well, 7 gigahertz, Mosh told me, is your 4G. 10 gigahertz is your airport security, X-ray. 20 gigahertz is just more intense. And the one that starts the atom spinning, he said, is 35 gigahertz, okay? And then what they're going to do is they're going to be shooting, I don't know, you want to start like at the beginning or I'm just going through frequency. They're going to end up killing, totally wiping out these areas. See, the Chinese are going to be able to come in. There's not going to be any life. They're going to scrape off the land. All the trees, all plant life will be cooked and dead. They're going to run the 60 gigahertz for 29 days after they kill everybody in the kill zone. 60 days. Mosh told me that I'm getting goosebumps all over. He's agreeing with us. Mosh told me, let's say you got out of the kill zone and you didn't know any better and you tried to go back to look at your house. Or let's say you were looters and you entered the kill zone with the 60 gigahertz towers going off full blast. You'll be cooked alive. They're going to run that up to day 50. Day 1, I got the whole A to B. Okay, but after 50 days, Mosh is telling me this is not coming from me. Mosh said that they'll turn the meters off at 50 days, but it's going to take another 40 days for the air to replenish where it is breathable and can sustain life. 40 days after those 60 gigahertz meters are running, not meters, towers are running for 29 days of 60 gigahertz. Overkill. They're going to kill every plant in that kill zone, every tree. Every blade of grass will be dead, cooked. Chinese will come in eventually, clear it off. But see, it's kind of an ingenious thing if you think about it. They don't want to drop a nuclear bomb on us because that would make it uninhabitable forever. All they're doing is killing all life, and they'll just start over again. The Chinese want our resources. They want our water. They want our land. They want us to be a breadbasket, and they don't want any Americans left on soil. It's not about the wildlife project. It's not about us being serfs. It's not about us being robots. That's crazy. They want us off the land. That makes sense.
Right. And where are these kill zones?
Okay. This is the kill zone so far. I don't have the total list yet. And what Mosh is telling me is this. This is very important for people to hear this.
Right.
I sound like Deborah Tavares, don't I?
Yes.
I like her, by the way.
Me too.
Okay. This is how to tell if you got a kill, and I'm going to tell you, Mosh told me how to survive the kill zone, okay? Okay. If you're going to be in a kill zone and you don't know it, on September 15th, Mosh is telling me they're going to lock down the cities that are going to be the kill zones. You won't be able to get in and you won't be able to get out. You know what I mean? People won't be able to get in, people won't be able to get out. That is going to be September 15th. The scheduled day for the deployment is October 28th. They're going to make sure that, everybody's in there, and it's going to be like the frog in the pot thing. And on October 15th, City of St. Louis is going to be safe because it's a Jesuit stronghold. 150 Jesuits are going to be coming into St. Louis for sanctuary around the 15th. But on October 15th, in these kill zones and these zones around it, because they don't want this information out. They do not want other people on the outside to know what's happening, okay? On October 15th, our cell phones and internet will stop. It'll just stop. We will not be able to communicate to the outside in the city of St. Louis, which is a safe zone, in the kill zone. But we got enough land in city of St. Louis to sustain us. But everywhere around us, everywhere around St. Louis, on the east of St. Louis is the Mississippi River. On the west is the Missouri. And the whole St. Louis County, which represents probably 90% of the population in St. Louis, they're in the kill zone. The whole St. Louis County is a kill zone. So the kill zone will be to the north of us, to the west of us, and to the south of us, and the Mississippi River is on the east. But across the river in Illinois, where there's like East St. Louis, Belleville, those cities, they're going to be a kill zone too. And there will not be any food coming into St. Louis City. Everything is going to be blockaded. The highways, the bridges. You won't be able to get any food from September 15th until the kill zone's over. Maybe even a little bit after that.
Oh my.
So people I don't know what it's going to be like. I haven't asked about what it's going to, but see, people are going to go in the rest of the country that there's not a kill zone. They're going to just be doing their daily life, thinking, St. Louis?
Yes.
St. Louis County. Oh my gosh, there's a pandemic of
St. Louis County.
Coronavirus. People are dying just like in New York. It's going to be the 5G towers going off and killing everybody.
For those that are in that...
This time it's not going to be just clean.
Yeah, for those in that area.
That's a little bit of what's going on. So September 15th.
Yes.
And if you don't, and this is another very important thing. Let's say your listeners say, well, I tell people, if you don't know, use your intuition, but let's say your city is going to be locked down on the 15th and you just feel that you got to be careful. So what you got to do is 2 or 3 days before the 15th, leave the city and then watch if their blockades come up. And if you're blockaded, if you're locked down, you're a kill zone.
Yes.
And you don't want to come back.
Yeah, for those in St. Louis.
You're going to have to be away 3 months. And this is also something to be really careful about. When you go to another area where your driver's license doesn't match and they start doing checks and they see that you're from the area, the kill zone, they're going to make you go back. Do you understand? They're going to send you back to your city because you're locked down. You know what I mean? It's
Sure.
going to be, so when I leave, I've got a place to stay in St. Louis City, which is the belly of the beast, but it's going to be safe. And, I gotta lock myself down. I cannot travel around the city of St. Louis because my driver's license does not match St. Louis City.
I
It's
see.
St. Louis County. If I would get stopped by, let's say, National Guard, and they say, give me your driver's license, and they see that I'm from St. Louis County, they're going to make me go back to the kill zone.
Understood. And Linda, I did have a question here from someone named Michael, and this was from last week. They wanted to know, what if you live in the upcoming 5G area? Is there any action you can take to prepare your body to deal with it? He is inquiring.
No defense except, I sent Sweden a message, what they can look into helping them. There's no defense against the frequency. I don't know did we mention this? Part of the way to survive it, we need to go over that later for sure, because there are going to be people trapped. There might be some of your listeners trapped in the kill zone, okay?
Yes, I believe there would be, for sure.
They need to know what to do, okay? I'm kind of a little bit different I kind of pride myself. I'm a little bit different than Tavares, but I'm not saying she's, I'm not putting myself above her. But I give people solutions and what to do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mosh just gave me how to save yourself, how to get out of a kill zone, and when there's a window, and we'll go over that later if it's okay with you.
No doubt.
If you want me to go over these cities right now, this is not a complete list, okay? And your listeners need to go to that speed test that I can't remember it exactly. You can put the link on your YouTube if you like for them. They need to go and look at the grid where they're living.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'll start off with the states that are A, okay?
Go for it.
Alabama is not, there's no state, there's no city yet. Now, Arizona, you got 3 cities that are going to be kill zones. One is Phoenix, and that's a huge grid. The other is Flagstaff, and the other is Yuma. And it's going to be possible to get out of the kill zone, okay? If you just know what to do. If you have a plan and you prepare, make a plan. Know where the boundaries are. Okay. Arkansas, I don't have a city yet. Alaska, I don't have a city yet. Mosh told me about every state will have a city. California there's going to be some, but I don't know yet. He doesn't know. Now, this is a really interesting one, Michael. Sandy Hook, Connecticut. Okay. We kind of talked about that last time.
Briefly.
What's so ironic about it? Now, Jim Fetzer, he proved there's a lot of Satanists over there, okay? Well, Sandy Hook is part of Newtown. I don't think these minions of Satan know what really the 5G does. I don't think they're educated about it. Until about a week ago, I had no idea what's going to happen. They think it's going to be hunky-dory in Sandy Hook where all the Christians are, but they're in for a surprise. They're targeted too. Satan's the Jesuits are targeting them. There's no way being right next to Sandy Hook that they're going to escape the kill zone. They're going to be killed. Newtown. I don't know how you pronounce that right. Sandy Hook is a village of Newtown. That's where the Sandy Hook false flag was. Okay, going to Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Delaware, I don't have a city yet. Hawaii is Honolulu. Florida, I don't have a city yet. Idaho, no city yet. Indiana is Bloomington, and Iowa, 2 cities there, Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. Colorado is Colorado Springs and Pueblo. Delaware doesn't have a city yet. Hawaii is Honolulu. Florida, no city yet. Idaho, no city yet. Indiana is Bloomington. Iowa, Cedar Rapids and Iowa City. Idaho is no city yet. Illinois is the entire Chicago area. It's a pretty big grid. I've got the grid on YouTube if you want to go over the map. And then also Gary, Indiana is part of the Chicago grid. And going down to Georgia is a nightmare for people. Almost the entire state of Georgia bleeding over to South Carolina is a kill zone. It's safe below Macon, Georgia. And if you're going to be safe out of Georgia, you got to go to the state on the left, and that might be Alabama, or is it Mississippi? I don't know. You got to go west. You can't go east to South Carolina. South Carolina's hot. You just walk into another kill zone. You can go up into Tennessee, Chattanooga, Knoxville. They're all safe right now. The one in Tennessee that's a kill zone is Memphis. Memphis is a horrible kill zone, and we'll go over that. And then South Haven, Mississippi, right below it is another big kill zone. And then Jackson, Tennessee is another kill zone. Now, these one thing, I don't know if it's nice, but one thing good about these small towns, you can get out of the boundaries. You can make it. These big grids like Georgia, that's going to be a little bit more difficult.
Right.
I'm going to go down to Kansas. Kansas is Dodge City, Wichita, and El Dorado. Kentucky is Frankfort. Louisiana is Shreveport. Michigan, Grand Rapids, Lansing, and a town called Whitmore Lake. Nothing yet in Maryland. Missouri, it's St. Louis County, Springfield, Missouri, Poplar Bluff, and Cape Girardeau. Kansas City's safe. Mississippi, I said it was South Haven, Mississippi, and it's connected with Memphis. Memphis is a big kill. If people who are if they're listening to this in Memphis, if you can make it on, when we talk about how to survive this kill zone, you're going to make it. You got to get over that Mississippi River to the west, okay?
All these people need to get out of there then.
I'm going to tell them how to get out.
Yeah.
Okay, that's later. Mosh just gave that to me. If you wouldn't have called, again, I'm a broken record here. If you would have called me late, I might not have been able to podcast or, get this on your podcast.
I'm a man of great timing, I'm told.
Say that again?
I said I'm a man of great timing.
Yes, you are. I mean, for real. I mean, I'm just like freaking out, Okay, Montana. I'm not doing exactly in alphabetical order.
That's okay.
Montana, no state yet. Massachusetts, no state yet. Minnesota, Maine, no state yet. Nebraska, oh my gosh. It's got about between 10 and 20 little cities in it. I can do that at the end because I'll have to get another piece of paper. It was so big. I think Mosh said they're targeting the meat industry, food shortage, North Carolina, I don't have a city yet. North Dakota, no city yet. Oh, New Jersey, oh my gosh. Atlantic City just got added. And the whole west of New York from Hoboken down to Jersey City is hot. West of Highway 9, if I remember correctly, you have to get over a mile away from these kill zones.
Wow.
Because people who are living in the fringes of these kill zones will die. They'll be dead.
They'll be gone.
Because of the towers bleeding over, okay? So above Hoboken, give yourself a couple miles. If you're going to get out of the kill zone, above Hoboken, okay? And to the west of, I think it's Highway 9. And then you got to go south of Jersey City. You got to get south. And New York City is a whole trap for the elite. They're going to wipe out all those. If the mayor, if the governor, anybody of importance is in New York City, in a safe zone, okay, the Jesuits are laying a trap for you. You are going to die the most horrendous, I'm getting goosebumps, Michael, horrendous, horrible death. You can imagine what the Jesuits got in store for you. And you think that they are going to be kings and queens.
Wow. Well, I certainly hope you're not right on this.
We'll go over what's going to happen to them in New York City. What's going to happen? It's going to be horrible. They're going to go through the Holocaust that Nostradamus predicted. They're going to witness it. And then they're going to realize that they have been deceived. And then they are going to try to escape the kill zone. And the 60 gigahertz towers are going to be pumping out microwave energy. And they're going to cook. If they try to escape where they think they're safe, they are going to have a horrendous death. If that's any consolation for anybody. Maybe it's karma for what they did to New York City, the Queen, in April and May.
A lot of people say that. A lot of people say that.
I'm passionate about this.
Yes, a lot of people say that this is karma.
Could be. I don't know. They are going to, the people who think they are safe. I have safe areas in New York City that don't have the 5G. These people who think they are Jesuit favorites, who take orders from the top, the Jesuits have in store for them the most horrific death you can imagine. Trauma, sheer terror, worse than anybody can experience for New York City. They're going to go down with it, the kill zone. They're going to be in the kill zone. But they're going to die 1,000 times worse than the ones that died before them in the kill zone at day 19. Day 19, they will realize they've been deceived, and they will panic, and terror will take over. That's what Mosh is telling me.
Right.
What they've got in store for American minions beyond belief. Maybe it's justice,
Yes, and I do have that email you sent me, the agenda PDF.
It's on my website. People can look at it. They need to know the day. They need to know the sequences. They need to know the sequences of the frequency, when the window is to get out. Okay?
Yes.
And I'm going to tell you, whenever you're ready, I'm going to go over the rest of the cities, okay?
Yeah, no
whenever
problem.
You're ready, we'll go over that agenda. And I will tell people when Mosh is saying the window is to get out.
Yes, and as a reminder for those...
You only have a day to get out. You only have maybe 1 or 2 days to get out.
And as a reminder for those out there, the day 1 is October 28th, correct?
That's what Mosh is telling me.
Okay.
It's all numerology with these Jesuits. But it can change. I mean, if there's still going to be day 1, 2, 3, 4, there's going to be a 21-day kill. Day 22, they turn the towers on, 60 gigahertz microwave. They wipe out everything, even worms. Fish in lakes will be dead. No
that's
life.
Devastating, yeah.
Even plant life will be dead and cooked. 29 days of microwave oven going.
Well, that's terrifying.
And that's what these elitists will experience on day 21 and 20.
Yes,
when
day 20.
When they try to get out of the kill zone, when they realize they've been deceived and they try to get out, they're going to be microwaved. And that's a worse death than suffocation.
It seems like it.
Yes. They've got their justice, their karma coming.
I think the only worst way to go out is by drowning.
I don't know if they'll be by the river. The ones in Suffolk County and Norfolk County is where a lot of the elite live. That's on Long Island. They could try to water. I don't know.
And by the way, Linda,
I think even the water between Long Island and the rest of New York, I'm not real good at geography. That's probably going to be permeated with the 60 gigahertz.
Right.
They won't be able to breathe.
And Linda,
Mosh told me this is what's going to happen between day 22 and day 29. Day 22 and day 50. They'll be pumping that microwave frequency all the way through these kill zones.
Right.
And let's say you want to, I might have said this already. Let's say you want to come back and say, I wonder if my house is there. Well, if you try to enter the kill zone with 60 gigahertz frequency going off, you will be dead in 2 days. You won't live. And people who think they're going to be looters and see if they can go in and get anything, they'll be dead too. They won't survive the kill zone there. There's no way you can survive microwave. When you put something in the microwave for 10 seconds, what happens? That's what's going to happen with them. When they try to escape the kill zone with 60 gigahertz going off microwave energy.
And Linda, you believe China is responsible for this, correct?
Well, I believe it's the Jesuits. They're the ones that own they're the ones that own the corporation that controls America. The United States is a corporation owned by the Vatican, but the Jesuits took over the Vatican in like 1814, I think, something like that. 18, yeah. When they had Napoleon, who was a pawn of the Jesuits. Well, see, the Jesuits were disbanded, and they fled. Some fled to England, some went to Russia, some went to Germany. And anybody that was a Catholic country, if they harbored them, they would be excommunicated. So they set Napoleon up. They set up the French Revolution, and Napoleon double-crossed them. They were going to use the Louisiana Purchase to invade the monarchs, to invade America. But Napoleon turned around and sold the Louisiana Purchase for 3 cents an acre, and that's the revenge of St. Louis, actually. And so part of the deal, Napoleon wanted an heir, okay, and his wife Josephine could bear no children. So the monarchs, I'm sure it's the Jesuits, they coerced him. He married a gal from Austria, and they had a son. Well, part of the deal was that Napoleon imprisoned the Pope and not release him until he reenacted, is that the right word, the Jesuits. And that's when they took over the Vatican. Never again would the Jesuits ever let a pope push them around. You wouldn't believe how many popes they've killed. It's unbelievable. But okay, I've lost my train of thought. So you remember what city we were on? Oh, we were doing New York.
New York.
That's when I got into those politicians and said, I hope they're listening to this, Michael. Because one of the ways Mosh is saying is, for these people who've gone to the dark, when they see that they're going to be double crossed, they're going to come. They might turn around and go against them.
You never know.
What I mean?
Yeah,
that's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen. That's a possibility. When they see that they're going to be deceived, because the Jesuits are very deceptive.
Yeah, most evil people are very deceptive. Yeah.
Yeah. So the next one on the list is Portland, Oregon, and that's,
Portland, Oregon.
There's going to be another one besides Portland, but I don't know it yet.
Right.
And then going down to Oklahoma City is the Oklahoma City area, and I don't know the grid of that yet. I haven't done that. In Ohio, it's going to be Canton. Puerto Rico, I don't know too much how Puerto Rico is arranged, but San Juan is going to be attacked. Pennsylvania is Harrisburg. I haven't done the grid on that yet. Rhode Island and South Dakota, there's no city yet. South Carolina, Greenville is part of the grid of Georgia. It's trickling all the way over there. And then there's Greenwood. I think Greenwood's part of the grid of Georgia. And then Greenville is, that area is by separate from from Georgia. And let's see, then you're going to go to Texas. Okay, well, Texas is a nightmare. Dallas, the entire Dallas-Fort Worth area, it's over about it's all the way, the only safe place south of where this is going to hit is Waco, Texas is hot. It's going to be a kill zone. But south of Waco for several miles, it's going to be safe. So if you're living in Waco, Texas, you got to get south. You got to go south.
You got to get out.
Somebody emailed me that lives in Plano. Plano's going to be a kill zone. I told them to go north, go to Oklahoma. That area of Oklahoma will be safe. No place, there's going to be a whole kill zone in Dallas. And there's a lot of pockets of safe zones in there. Those are Jesuit traps for the elite. Okay. They're going to put their elite there who think they're going to be safe. Michael, I really don't think these minions of the Jesuits, like your people that do their bidding, our people that run our government, I don't think they fully understand what's going to happen. They would never stay in New York City if they knew what was waiting for them. They think they're going to be safe on Norfolk and Suffolk County and Long Island. They think they're going to be safe there. They're wrong. Okay, New York City. I went over New York City.
Right.
But Albany is going to be attacked. Syracuse, Buffalo. Those are all going to be kill zones. Texas, Dallas, Fort Worth, and Midland. Tennessee, again, it's going to be Jackson and Memphis. Memphis is the big kill zone. The whole city of Memphis. Everything. But if you can get across that river, this is what's going to happen. They're going to blockade all the city. But everybody's going to be dead in the city except if you know how to, and I'm going to tell you how to survive. The bridges are going to be blockaded. You won't be able to drive your car across them. You might be able to drive your car up to them, okay, if you can still drive. You're going to have to walk across the bridge. You're going to have to walk some of the way to get to safety because all the highways are going to be blocked. You won't be able to get it. You might be able to get out in what do you call those ATVs?
Right.
I mean, I'm just speculating. I didn't get that from Mosh. That came from Linda. I'm just, kind of giving an idea. Okay, let's see. Wisconsin, it's Milwaukee. That was a brand new one lately. Utah, it's Ogden. Vermont, no city yet. Virginia, oh my. Richmond and Mechanicsville. Those are kill zones. I'm going to tell you how to get out of these kill zones, okay?
Right.
State of Washington, no city yet. West Virginia, Charleston, that might be a little difficult to get out of because it's so mountainy, but there's going to be a way. You have to do a plan, if you live in Charleston, West Virginia, which is the capital, you can do it. Your listeners are all smart. They're listening to you. Okay, Wyoming, I don't have a city yet. I think that wraps it up. Yeah. I think I got them all.
You got them all.
I think so.
Very good.
You have to let me on again. Moss is telling me where I live, where I'm going to be in St. Louis City, because I'm going to safety there. It's all going to be safe in St. Louis City. October 15th, they will knock out our internet and we will not have cell phones.
Oh no.
So I will be podcasting. Well, see, they don't want anybody to know what's going on.
What's going on?
That makes sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
They do not want me calling somebody and saying, you wouldn't believe what's going on in St. Louis County.
No, they would not like that. I'm just thinking about all the worst scenarios that can come to mind during this sort of situation. I mean, even with the epidemic or the pandemic or the plandemic rather, as some like to refer to it as, I always think about all the other nations that want to cause us harm, that want to take advantage of this sort of situation and maybe incite some sort of a terroristic act. Yeah.
Well, the COVID or whatever you call that's going to be an excuse to lock down. And on October 15th, Mosh is telling me No more internet, no more phone in St. Louis City. And the kill zones. The kill zones on the first day of deployment. It's going to be a slow frog kill, okay? And we'll go over that thing if you want later. It's going to be a slow kill. So you just have to know what the agenda is and when you're going to have your window of opportunity to get out. But you're going to have to use your head and remember what Moss says how to get out. You're going to have to you won't have to do anything like have some kind of a equipment or something.
Sure.
No, you're not going to have that. In fact, when you're going to get out of these kill zones, 75% of the people are already going to be dead. Okay? There's going to be a 1-day window, maybe a day and a half window that you can get out. So that means that if you get stuck in this kill zone, listeners, you gotta know where you're going to get out at. You gotta know where the boundaries are. On that day of getting out, they're going to be all dead in this, and I'm going to tell you why they're going to be dead, and you're not. You got to get to that boundary. You might be able to drive your car up to a bridge, up to the boundary, but all the highways are going to be blocked. You're going to have to walk across and get out of the boundary, unless you have an ATV or maybe a motorcycle, So you're going to have to have a plan just in case you get caught up into a kill zone. You're going to have to figure out where you're going to get out at and where's the safest place. Okay.
Right.
Yeah. I hope we still have listeners.
Oh, of course.
People are going to say this is science fiction. Turn that off. I couldn't make this stuff up. I mean, I am not an electrician. He's given me all the gigahertz, and he even sent Sweden, told them what to do, how to combat it. I just sent them a message. It was yesterday, how they can kind of protect themselves. I had the podcast on my YouTube. It was only about a 3-minute,
Yes. By the way, for those that don't know, you do a podcast of your own, and people can find it at lindaemmanuel.com. It's right there on the front page.
Yeah.
You won't miss it.
I put them on my website, yeah. And it's also Alternative Revelations with Linda Emmanuel. I've also got on my website, lindaemmanuel.com. I'm also on Brighteon and on YouTube. I'm not on BitChute. I should be on BitChute.
Yeah, that'd be a good place to go.
I need to get on there.
Sure. And Linda, before we get right back into these topics here, I was just curious. I'm sure you've heard of QAnon, correct?
Yeah. I've watched. Is it a lady with a European accent that talks?
I'm not sure what video you are referring to.
Well, she does. I don't follow QAnon. I've heard of it.
Well, yeah, that was just that was just sort of the question. You have heard of it, though?
Yes, I have.
Ah, okay. Well, interestingly enough, the whole QAnon sort of subject has made its way into the mainstream, if you haven't already noticed.
No, I haven't.
Oh my, yes. It's been brought up plenty of times, and just recently, it was mentioned to Mike Pence recently. I have audio here of that. Do you want me to play that for you?
Is Mike Pence the vice president?
Correct.
Duh. Duh. I don't follow Trump and him. He is such a Jesuit shill. And I don't know the death they have from him. I doubt if Mosh knows, but they won't keep him.
Understood.
He's born on American soil. They'll get rid of him. Well, Chinese don't want the Americans on their soil.
This is what Pence had to say when he was asked about QAnon.
The president seemed to embrace QAnon, which is a group that the FBI has warned very likely motivates some domestic extremists to commit criminal, sometimes violent activity. This is a group that peddles theories that say that some politicians and high-profile Hollywood celebrities are a member of a satanic cult that are also cannibals. They say that coronavirus is being disseminated by George Soros and Bill Gates with the help of 5G networks. The president says they love America. So how do those beliefs embody a love of America?
Well, you said the president seemed to embrace it. I I didn't hear that.
He said they love America, Mr. Vice President.
I don't know anything. I heard the
America.
president talk about he appreciates people that support him very generally.
Do you believe they love America? Do you believe they love America?
I don't know anything about that conspiracy theory, John.
How can you not know about it,
people
given
that are
how much it's
involved
been in the news? How can you not know about it at this point?
Well, I honestly, John, I don't know anything about that. I've heard about it. We dismiss conspiracy theories around here.
Will you dismiss
out
it?
of hand.
Will you dismiss it? Will you dismiss it?
I just did, John.
No, you
we
didn't.
dismiss conspiracy theorists out of hand. But the point is, this president's going to continue to take our case all across this country. The choice in this election has never been clearer, and the stakes have never been higher.
So, Mr. Vice President,
after he condemned the president for suspending travel from China,
I will come to this, but you didn't answer my question.
After years of economic surrender to China that cost tens of thousands of American jobs.
Let me ask you about the RNC in just a second.
Joe Biden never talked about China.
Ben Sass said QAnon is nuts. Leaders call conspiracy theories. Will you call what they espouse conspiracy theories?
I just did, John. I called it a conspiracy theory. I said I don't have any time for it, and I don't know anything about it.
Okay.
And frankly, honestly, John, I get it. I mean, I get that the media, particularly CNN, chases after shiny objects.
This is no shiny
object.
object.
The American people, we're going through a time of testing.
This a dangerous group. This isn't a shiny
We're going
object.
through a time of testing. We're coming to a time for choosing.
And that was Mike Pence there.
Wow.
Pretty interesting back and forth.
I'm surprised they didn't throw that guy out that was arguing with them.
Very interesting. And of course, this also stems from the fact that Trump was actually asked about QAnon, and I have audio of that for you too, Linda.
Okay.
During the pandemic, the QAnon movement appears to be gaining a lot of followers. Can you talk about what you think about that and what you have to say to people who are following this movement right now?
Well, I don't know much about the movement other than I understand they like me very much. Which I appreciate, but I don't know much about the movement. I have heard that it is gaining in popularity, and from what I've heard, these are people that when they watch the streets of Portland, when they watch what happened in New York City in just the last 6 or 7 months, but this was starting even 4 years ago when I came here, almost 4 years, can you believe it? These are people that don't like seeing what's going on in places like Portland and places like Chicago and New York and other cities and states. And I've heard these are people that love our country and they just don't like seeing it. So I don't know really anything about it other than they do supposedly like me, and they also would like to see problems in these areas, like especially the areas that we're talking about, go away, because there's no reason the Democrats can't run a city. And if they can't, we will send in all of the federal, whether it's troops or law enforcement, whatever they'd like. We'll send them in. We'll straighten out their problem in 24 hours or less. Okay?
Well, at the crux of the theory is this belief that you are secretly saving the world from this satanic cult of pedophiles and cannibals. Does that sound like something you are behind?
Well, I haven't heard that, but is that supposed to be a bad thing or a good thing? I mean, you know, if I can help save the world from problems, I'm willing to do it. I'm willing to put myself out there. And we are actually. We're saving the world from a radical left philosophy that will destroy this country. And when this country is gone, the rest of the world would follow.
And that was Trump being questioned about it. Interesting.
Well, Moss just said that they're of the light and they're not a deep state shill. You know, he said they're of the light.
Right. Very interesting. I never thought I'd hear that.
That they're not directed by the Jesuits or the deep state. You know, they're
right.
But you know, a lot of times these Jesuits infiltrate a group, take it over.
Yeah, that was very interesting.
They're not taking over yet.
I just wanted to know your opinion on all of that.
Oh my gosh! So, I feel like they waste my time.
They waste your time.
No, it's like they waste my time to argue about stupid things. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
They just want to divert our attention, you know, and away from what's really going on and why. And just they're like what do they call it? A dog and pony show. People say, you know, it's like the old cliche.
Yeah, well, there is lots of disruption going on. Definitely, lots of sleight of hand, lots of diversions that go on. You're right. Yeah.
Yes, but I think what's really this event coming up, since it's, they schedule it for October 28th, this is going to force people to wake up, because it's not about taking back our country. They're coming for you next.
Yeah, that's terrifying.
What?
I said that is terrifying.
Yeah. If they're coming, they're not going to just do this. They're going to if you look at that 5G grid, it's all across the country. Doesn't mean that they're going to keep it suppressed, like the phone's out, and people aren't going to be able to communicate on the internet or the phone. And even if you had like a pigeon, it's going to drop out of the sky.
Oh no!
You'll be able to have pigeon couriers, Oh gosh! But do you want to go over this? What the scenario is on these kill zones?
Absolutely, yes.
Do you want me to explain? Do they know what a kill zone is? I call it a kill zone.
Go ahead, sure.
Okay, a kill zone is it's a targeted area. I don't want to just say city. It could be like St. Louis County is probably made up of 20, 30, 40 little cities inside St. Louis County. And it's a frequency. Everybody knows about the 5G, the 4G, X-ray machines. There's several different, there's lots of different levels of frequency. I'm not an expert, okay, but Mosh is. And I have a two-pager, and when your listeners, if they're interested, if you're interested if you're stuck in a kill zone, you definitely want to have these two pieces of paper. It'll save your life. It'll save your family's life. First of all, smart meters. Smart meters, they're killing machines. The smart meter will surge the frequency through your house. And that's the majority of the way they're going to kill everybody. Because if you remember New York, Queens, where people couldn't breathe, they were doing the 35 gigahertz in Queens. And at 35 gigahertz, the electrons on your oxygen spin, and your red blood cells cannot carry oxygen. You can't breathe. And if you can't breathe, if your listeners might not know this, the reason you breathe, this is why you breathe. And I know it's like basic. The reason you breathe, I'm like a why. Remember we were talking about that? The reason you breathe is this: carbohydrate, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen. Now plants use carbon by itself and hydrogen to build the plant. When we break down a carbohydrate to make energy, the human body does not need carbon by itself. It does not use hydrogen by itself. In fact, hydrogen will make it kind of blow up, So it has to have a waste hauler to get it out of the body. So when you eat a carbohydrate, carbon, hydrogen, the oxygen, CO2, carbon, oxygen, two oxygen, H2O. Get it? When you don't have oxygen going to your cells, the cell stops producing energy. It stops. You will die eventually, especially like heart. It takes pretty much of deprivation, but that is why you need oxygen. It's the waste hauler of carbon and hydrogen when you're making ATPs or you're making energy in the cell so you can move. So when you are not getting oxygen, your body has these mechanisms and your heart will start pumping faster, And if you don't get the oxygen, the first to go probably is your brain cells. And then eventually you'll be getting organ shutdown or a heart attack because your heart's pumping so fast. Because the less oxygen you get, you have hormones that measure oxygen level in your blood. So the blood says, "Oh, I'm not pumping fast enough. I got to get more oxygen." And when you wear these masks, you're breathing back in your CO2, which is acidic, and it makes your blood acidic. And when you have acidosis, you can get a mycoplasma infection. When you have acidosis in your blood, your red blood cells can't carry oxygen. So it's a double whammy. So, and when you're wearing a mask, they've proven that you're below OSHA standards for getting oxygen. There's only about low 20% of oxygen in the atmosphere where we breathe. Most of it's others, So you're only breathing in without a mask. You're only breathing in 20 oxygen. And when you wear a mask, it's below 17, which is below OSHA guidelines. So that's why we breathe oxygen. So I kind of jumped around here. So these 35 gigahertz causes the oxygen electrons that hold the oxygen together. There's two oxygens you're breathing in. And when they're spinning, the magnitude maybe of the iron can't grab the oxygen. So you're not getting oxygen, shortness of breath, gasping for air, heart pumping faster. You're going to die eventually because you're not getting enough oxygen to your body. Okay. So, 35 gigahertz is they know this too, the Jesuits, or, the people that are doing this. 35 gigahertz. Most people thought it was all 60 gigahertz. That's not true. It's 35. Mosh says it's 35. And right now, Sweden is being attacked with the towers on the 35, and we sent them a message telling them what they can do. So, at 35 gigahertz, if these towers are shooting out 35 gigahertz, it's causing the oxygen in the air to spin the atoms, and you're not able to breathe it. Now, what happens? What they're doing is this: these smart meters. Okay, let's. You have the piece of paper in front of you?
Well, I have my phone.
There? What'd you say?
Well, I have my phone in front of me.
Okay. Well, I got the agenda here, the day by day, and you start off with the smart meters because that's what's going to kill people. That's what's the killing. That's the kill. That's the soft kill, or that's the kill. That's the original kill. The cell towers are just, I don't know why they have to pump the cell towers. That's just the torture. Okay, so we talked about earlier that the average 4G is about 7 gigahertz, and then the airport security scanning machines are around 10. And I have the scenario. It says the following is the frog in the pot of boiling water scenario, where the frog is placed into a pot of water and the heat is gradually turned higher and higher, and the frog is paying no attention to the rising temperature until it is too late to jump out. And then the frog dies. That is what's going on right here with this agenda, with these kill cities, these kill zones. Okay, October 28th is their scheduled numerology date. It could change. I'm not going to, somehow Mosh is saying October 28th. So day one, this is the frog in the pot. Okay. Day one, your smart meter is kind of cranked up to 10, which is airport security. People are not noticing that their smart meter has been slightly cranked up. They're kind of might, if you're real sensitive, you might feel it. That's day one. Okay. Day 1 through day 7. Day 7, they've cranked your meter up to 20. They doubled it. This is a slow frog kill. Some people are now noticing the change in frequency, but do nothing. This is in your house, okay? Day 10. Now, day 7 through 9, 20. This is critical now. Day 10, your smart meter is cranking out 35 gigahertz in your house. At this frequency, electrons on the oxygen are spinning, and people to begin to feel symptoms of oxygen deprivation, shortness of breath, dizziness, brain cells dying, tiredness like anemia, not getting oxygen, and difficulty in breathing, but are not leaving the kill zone because they just think it might be corona. In all probability, the media is telling them they have the coronavirus. Okay? This is day 10 to 14. The meter is still cranking 35 gigahertz in your house by now, in the house by a couple days, 11, 12. Remember your house. This is cranking in your house where you're living. It's depleting. It's making the air not breathable. Extreme symptoms of oxygen deprivation. People are rushing to hospitals. By November 11th, that's just 2 days, the majority of people are dead, 75%, just in 2 or 3 days, because they're staying in their house. There's no breathable oxygen in there. Am I talking too mean? I'm kind of being passionate here.
That's okay. Go ahead.
Okay, that's day 10 through 14. I'm going to go back. I'm going to go back to your window of escape, okay? Day 15 through 18. of this event. The smart meters are cranking out 50 gigahertz. That's almost microwave. Almost. It's almost there. Just 10 more gigahertz. It's microwave energy between day 15 and 18. By day 16, if you're living in that house, all life in the kill zone is dead by day 16. Now, this is interesting. Here we go. This is where the elite come in. The Jesuits have it set up where there's some safe zones inside these kill zones where the towers aren't going off. The elite go to these safe zones like in Suffolk County and Norfolk County and Gutenberg, New Jersey. And they go to South Manhattan because there's no 5 cell towers going off there. No 5G. And they think they're safe. Okay. Inside the kill zone, there are pockets of safe zones. Deep inside the safe zones, life is still thriving. People living on the fringes of the safe zone are now dead. Get it? People living deep inside the safe zones may not know it, but they are now trapped inside the kill zone. Okay. This is the big one, Michael. This is the big one. You got maybe the mayor of New York in that safe, deep inside that safe zone, thinking, oh, they're going to turn it off. I'm going to walk out of here. I'm going to be a king. I'm going to have all kinds of servants. I'm going to have a palace in California. Who knows? I don't know. I'm just going to be silly.
Right.
Day 19. Kill zone meters. That's your smart meter. In these houses where everybody's dead. Okay. Kill zone meters, not safe zone. Okay. Kill zone meters are cranked up to 60 gigahertz. 60 microwave power. There are people still alive deep inside the safe zone, inside the kill zone. They believe they are still safe. The 60 gigahertz frequency surges through the kill zone smart meters, causing mass explosions in all the houses and buildings in the kill zone burst into flame and are reduced to ashes. This is where it gets interesting. People deep inside the safe zone that the Jesuits have set up for them are absolutely terrorized because they're right in the middle of it. This is a planned agenda. Absolutely terrorized out of their wits as they witness the kill zone Holocaust. And Mosh told me this is kind of like the Jesuits doing the Nostradamus prophecy where you see them, New York. They are going to watch these high rises blow up, whatever they do with these meters. These buildings, New York is going to be ashes like California. That's what they're doing in California with these 60 gigahertz frequency running them through these houses, and they explode and ignite and go to dust. So the elite are still alive at day 19. They just witnessed the kill zone Holocaust, everybody being incinerated, burnt offerings. The Carthage, they were your original Canaanites, the Satan worshipers. And they would sacrifice children, babies, goats, whatever, and they would always burn the sacrifice, burnt offerings to Baal, to Satan. The kill zone Holocaust, burnt offerings is the definition of Holocaust. Okay, now this is day 20 and 21 in the kill zone. Now I have in the kill. If you want me to read you how the people in the safe zones eventually die, and that was just the smart meter agenda. There's another agenda going on with the cell towers in these kill zones. I'm going to start. Let's go to that page. Okay, now we're back. Okay, now this is only cell towers. Okay, this is day 1 through 9. Okay, this is one of those frog things. The cell towers in the kill zones are only pumping out 10 gigahertz. That's airport X-ray, right? People are experiencing the effects, for example, ringing in the ears and headaches and other signs of the 4G. Some may complain, but the majority of people will go on with their daily lives. Cell towers in the safe, now this is important. The cell towers in the safe zones, remember the frog, they want these people to think they're safe, right? Are you there?
Right.
Cell towers in the safe zones are 7 gigahertz, which is 4G. You're there, Michael, aren't you?
I'm listening. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Okay, I think this is interesting. It's almost like reading the book. And Mosh wrote this. I have nothing to do with it. Okay, day 10. Remember, Day 1 through 9 is where they're acclimating people with the smart meters in their houses, getting it from 10 to 20, right? But this is going on the outside. So day 10, now remember, day 10 is the day they crank up the smart meters in the houses to 35 gigahertz, remember? Day 10, but this is outside. The cell towers in the kill zone, 35 gigahertz. That's what Sweden's going through. At 35 gigahertz, electrons on oxygen are spinning, and people begin to feel symptoms of oxygen deprivation. This is day 10. Shortness of breath, dizziness, tiredness, and difficulty in breathing, but are not leaving the kill zone. In all probability, the media is telling them that they have the coronavirus. Now, also, cell towers in the safe zone are only 4G. Remember, they're lulling these people in the safe zone. They're saying, "Oh, you're okay. You're going to be okay." Yeah, right. They got it coming. They're going to have something coming to them. Well, they've already witnessed the Holocaust. I've told you on day 19, right?
Right.
Okay. This is day 14 to 10 to 14. This is when the meter in your house is pumping that 35 gigahertz, and you're living in your house and you're dying. You're dead by. Okay. So cell towers in the kill zone are still 35 gigahertz. Extreme symptoms of oxygen deprivation. People are rushing to hospitals. By November 11th, which is day 14, 75% of people are dead. Now still, the cell towers in the safe zones, they're still 4G. These people are saying, "Hey, we're doing pretty good here. I wonder when they're going to come and get us." Days 15 through 17. Now remember, 19 is the Holocaust. This is interesting. Now, there's 25% of the people still alive that have done something. Maybe they're really strong and maybe they're got really good health, okay? They're still surviving, but they're in their houses. Day 15, the cell towers in the kill zone cranked up to 50 gigahertz, just like the smart meters. By day 16, all life in the kill zone is dead. 50 gigahertz it took. Inside the kill zone, there are pockets of safe zones. Deep inside the safe zones, people are still alive. People living on the fringes of the safe zone are dead. People who are alive deep inside the safe zones do not know they are now trapped inside the safe zone. Their cell towers at day 15 through 17 are still at 4G. They don't know it. Okay? Remember, day 19 was the Holocaust. Now, this is day 18 through 21. On day 18, and we're talking cell towers only, day 18, kill zone towers are cranked up. This is day 18. Cell towers are cranked, the kill zone cell towers, not in safe zones, are cranked. Now, this is where they're going to trap the elite. The kill zone towers are cranked up to 60 gigahertz on day 18. Absolutely nothing will be able to survive in the kill zone now. But people are still alive deep inside the safe zones. Remember, this is not day 19. They believe they are still safe. However, they begin to experience oxygen deprivation from the effect of the kill zone towers surging, putting out that 60 gigahertz frequency. And the safe zone's towers are still at 4G. False sense of security. Day 19, this is the Holocaust. I don't know if you want me to repeat it. This is a little different. Okay, day 19, the same day, the safe zone people witness the kill zone Holocaust. The safe zone towers are now cranked up to 35 gigahertz. The electrons are spinning now. Now they're terrorized and traumatized. The safe zone people are feeling the full effect of oxygen deprivation. People panic as they realize they are trapped in a kill zone. Some try to escape out of the kill zone only to be cooked alive by the kill zone towers shooting out 60 gigahertz microwave frequency, and even more horrible and painful death than if they had stayed behind. Day 20, these are people in the safe zone, painfully suffering from severe oxygen deprivation. The few remaining safe zone people are filled with anguish and despair as they realize they are dying and will share the same fate as those who were incinerated in the kill zone on day 19. They know their fate. Day 21, this is a big one. All life in the kill zone everywhere is dead. The safe zone meters are cranked up to 60 gigahertz. All the houses and buildings in the safe zone immediately explode, ignite, and burn and are reduced to ashes. Day 22, cell towers in the kill zone are cranking out 60 gigahertz frequency microwave. Soon, all plant life in the kill zone will be cooked and dead. Anyone attempting to enter the kill zone will die within 2 days. Day 50, the cell towers in the kill zone are shut down. Not until 40 days have passed will the kill zone have enough breathable oxygen to sustain life.
Amazing.
And that's it. That's from Mosh.
And that's from Mosh.
That's what they're planning. He's right there in their plans. He knows everything they're doing.
My goodness.
Okay. Let's tell people. Is it okay if we tell people how to escape?
Of course.
Okay. Go back to, the smart meters. The smart meters are going to be what's going to kill people, really. They're going to be in their house, and the oxygen level in the house is going to be depleted, or not depleted, but not breathable. That's what's keeping Sweden alive. They don't have the smart meters. They refuse to get them. That's why they're being punished. So what you do, on day 1, Mosh says that they are going to cut your electricity in these kill zones. You will not have any electricity. It's going to be, they're just going to say there's grid out, you know what I mean? So what you got to do, you got to cut power to your electricity to that smart meter. You got to turn off all your breakers. That makes sense?
Right.
So the smart meter cannot surge through your house. I guess, but if that, I don't know, that's what Mosh is telling me. Okay. Also, if that doesn't work, it should. You got to be outside like the Swedish people. They're not dying because they've got air outside. It's when you get in these houses with the smart meters pumping 35 gigahertz that you're going to die, because you're in a confined area and the oxygen in that house isn't breathable. So Mosh is suggesting that you stay outside until you're ready to go, until you're ready to escape. You want to be around trees, wherever you're going to get some oxygen from these trees. And I think the frequency has a harder time going, but by in October, maybe they planned it this way. There's going to be tree foliage won't be there. So maybe that's not smart for me to say that. Okay, this is the critical time when you're trying to get out, okay? Day 10 is when they're going to crank up those meters to 35 in the houses. And the majority of the people are going to be dead by day 11 or 12. But if you can keep out of your house with that smart meter going, like the Swedish people, stay outside. You might have to stay outside. It won't be that cold in early November for some people. Put a coat on, I don't know if you sleep in your car. I don't know. You can't be in your house. It'll be your tomb. That makes sense?
Right. Plenty of sense.
You won't have any breathable oxygen in your house. You won't. And anyway, people are going to have their houses closed up because it's winter. It's getting to be winter, So the cell towers, I'd have to go to the next page, but the cell towers are going to be pumping out 35, in the kill zone. And they're also going to be the meters on day 10 through 14. They're going to be pumping 35. And up to day 10, you're only getting 10 to 20 gigahertz. That's survivable. You know what I mean? So those 9 days, save your, don't be in your house, where this is pumping in your house. You want to be able to, you want your body to have oxygen. You don't want to deprive it. You want to deprive it as little as you can, because on day 10 is when your smart meter is going to crank up to 35 and the oxygen, electrons are going to start spinning. So you want to, if you're getting that frequency from the smart meter, you're going to have to stay outside. And the window of opportunity to get out, the majority of people are going to be dead on day 11. On day 14. And that is the day, maybe 13, 14 is when you try to get out. Most everybody's going to be dead. You got to stay out of that smart meter house, like the Swedish do. They don't have the smart meter. That's what's keeping them alive. With their cell towers have been pumping for months, and they're not dead. They're complaining, but they're not dead. You got to get that fresh air. The cell towers will be pumping, but there's enough that it's only the first 2 weeks. It's not 60 gigahertz yet. So that window of 13 and 14 day, you got to get out. And again, we talked about they'll have roadblocks across all the roads. You won't be able to drive your car out of the zone, but you can drive your car all the way up to where it's blocked. If you got a motorcycle, you can walk across. You know, you can get across a bridge on the Mississippi on the other side. It'll be safe, maybe. I don't remember plotting anything across the Mississippi from Memphis. It seems like it was safe. So that's the way you got to get out. That's the only window you'll have to get out of a kill zone. Is if you stay outside and don't breathe it, don't be in the house with that smart meter pumping.
That's terrifying.
I'm going to see if Mosh is in agreement with if you turn off your breakers. Mosh just said if you turn off those breakers, it'll cut off that power coming in your house from the smart meter. And I'm not an electrician, so maybe an electrician needs to think about that one. But Mosh is saying, he's a frequency expert. He's saying if you shut off your breakers, they're going to be shut off anyway. You're not going to have any power in your house. So you know what? Maybe people won't think about turning off their breakers, will they, Michael?
They probably won't.
Because they'll say, well, you know, we don't know power. They don't think about turning off their breakers. Maybe that's part of the strategy, is the frog kill. Oh, it's the breakers. We don't need to turn the breakers off. The power's off anyway. No, that smart meter is going to be pumping. You don't even know it. So day 13 and 14 is your window. And by 14, even the National Guard who are going to be monitoring the blockades, they'll be dead. And this is critical. Day 15, you have a chance to get out. You don't want to wait that long because the meters in your house are cranked up to 50. And that'll definitely kill anybody that's the 25% that are still alive, if they're staying in their house.
I was going to say.
And they haven't turned off their electric.
I was going to say we'd be dead by then now, by that point.
Well, if you have your smart meter going, you will be dead. But Mosh is saying this is interesting, and I didn't think about this, that people will think, they won't think about turning their breakers off, will they, Michael?
Doubt it.
And the power's going to be cut anyway. They're going to shut your power off, but that is, I bet you that's part of their ploy.
Well, if we lose power, Linda, you can bet your bottom dollar people would lose their minds right away. That would be the worst thing if people lost their power.
Well, it's going to be, you know how California loses their power. But that's a way for people, you know, if their power's cut, they won't think about going down and turn off the breakers. It's off already. That's pretty crafty, you know, what they're doing, why they're turning off the power. They don't want people turning off their smart meters. So if you turn off that smart meter and that gigahertz isn't coming in your house, you can survive in your house for a while, at least the day 14. You won't be dead. You'll be dead if you leave that smart meter surging through your house. You'll be dead. You'll be dead by day 13, maybe 75% of the people will be dead on day 14. And that's your window, 13, 14. 15 the meters are now shooting out 50 gigahertz. No way you can survive that meter going 50 at day 16. It's all life. And by then, everybody who is not very smart and has their smart meter if they have their smart meter pumping, they're dead. They're dead. And then this is what happens. Then the cell towers, they're going off at 35 gig and they crank up those, by day 19, remember they have the kill zone towers pumping out that 60 gigahertz. Remember if people try to escape on day 19 and 20, they'll be roasted, you know, in the kill zone, in the safe zones, you know. They've really got some wicked deaths planned for these people.
It certainly seems like it.
Wicked. You know, because I've found a lot of, Mosh has shown me a lot of safe zones. New York City, Norfolk and Suffolk, that's a trap. Southern Manhattan's a trap. There's this little town. It's only like about this person who lives in Gutenberg, if that's who their target is. He must not know anything about what this agenda is, because there's no way in heck that he could survive in Gutenberg. It's too small an area, because everything around Gutenberg is surrounded with the 5G or the frequency. They're targeting somebody. Huh. It's karma, isn't it?
Seems like it. So do you believe this is how humans will... So you believe this is how humans will go extinct?
No. I think if people remember this podcast and things happening, they won't forget what's really going on, that it could be them next. And this is going to be about surviving. It's not going to be about raising arms and taking our government back. This is survival. A little different, isn't it?
Right.
People's backs are going to be, and you gotta, again, I don't know if you go over it, first thing you do on day one when they cut your power in those kill zones, turn the breakers off. Is that the right word? Turn those breakers off so that frequency can't come into your house, because that's what's going to kill people. Not so much the towers, because look how Sweden's surviving it. And if you have to, try to stay outside a lot. If your smart meter's pumping, try to, and it's funny how they're going to do it when all the trees are defoliaged. Interesting.
Yeah. This whole year has been interesting.
What'd you say?
This entire year has been interesting.
Yeah. So that's the scenario of a kill zone. And, every state's going to have at least one. And you have to have a plan. And I really do believe people can get out if they're determined and smart. Because everybody in the kill zone will be dead by day 16. But those smart meters in your house will be kicked up to 50, and you don't want to be in that house if that's cranking.
So, Linda, we're coming to a close very soon here.
Michael, it's been so sobering and horrible. I sometimes it's really been difficult.
Well, of course.
I'm going to lose my mother in the kill zone.
Oh, well, that's terrible.
And, well, I'm metaphysical. I'm a state national. I talk about my family kind of thinks I'm crazy, or not crazy, but they think, and my mom's blind and she wanted to come live with me. She's 93. And,
oh my
sister behind my back had her declared incompetent, so she couldn't come live with me. Now she's sitting in a nursing home, isolated, nobody to talk to, blind, can't listen to TV, no, nothing.
Yeah, that's a whole nother world right there, Linda. Living through that.
It's really hard. It's really been hard to think that she's going. I understand death, where we'll go, but it's how we die. Now, my one friend said that usually when you're going through something like this, your soul is out of body. You go out of body. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's been very difficulty thinking about my mother suffering for about 4 days. Absolutely. And I can't do anything.
Well, that's the worst part.
I can't get her out. My sister's got total power over her. By law. Yeah, I know.
That stinks. I'm sorry.
It's been difficult. It's been really difficult.
Yeah.
I'm just, and she's way out in the safe zone, way out. She's way out in the country. She's not even going to be affected. Not that I wish any harm on her, but she's going to get some karma over it, I think. Because it's about money too.
Oh,
I was gonna have my mom live with me for nothing. I was just gonna take care of her, and they didn't want that.
And you said this was your sister, correct?
Yeah.
And
my sister's Baptist, and I'm like, they think I'm the Antichrist.
They think you're the Antichrist. That's funny.
They think I confer with the devil, or I don't know. I'm not. I only do light, but they don't understand. They live in ignorance,
But Linda, so this is your sister that's wanting to do it this way. How was her relationship with your mother? Did they have a good relationship?
Oh, sure. It's just all about me, not letting her live with me. I begged her to, I don't know, I don't think your listeners want to listen to this, but I begged her to just let my mom live with her.
Well, what happened though, Linda?
She really didn't want to. My mom changes her clothes. The only thing those nursing home does is they bring her medicine in and they bring her food in. She can't leave the room. So they're all under quarantine all the time. Understood.
And Linda, what's your relationship with your sister like?
Oh, we're okay. I've never trusted her for a long time, but she could do some counseling for me, right? We were okay. I've disowned both my brother and her since this all happened. I said, "You're not my brother anymore. You're not my sister."
Oh my. And before this, you guys were tight though, right? You guys were a normal family.
Yeah, we were fine. We were fine. We were fine. But you know what it is? What do they call that? Lack of knowledge. They're in fear.
They're misinformed.
They don't understand anything about the true God source or what's really going on in the world. They live in the real strict religion, Baptist, it's their karma. I've got clean hands,
So they see you as like the infidel, in other words.
Something, whatever, especially since I became a state national. That's when it really, they went ballistic.
So you're...
what a state national is, when you surrender your birth certificate to the Minushkin and the U.S. Treasury.
So, Linda, in other words, you are kind of like the black sheep in the family.
I think so.
I think you are.
I love being, I don't want to be a sheep, but I guess, and but I don't mind. I like being different. I like to be able to think and find truth, and that's the way I am. I don't mind being different.
I'm very much different than everyone else in my family too, Linda. I don't want to. I know what that's like. I don't want to be
part of the herd,
Yeah. Why would you?
And I just was born in this family. I mean, it's been okay, but I just was really sad when I found that out, that she had to go behind my back.
Ooh, I know.
My mom wanted to come live with me, but I had a podcast about it. I kind of was in tears talking about it. I was crying. I cried a lot the last couple of days thinking about my mom going to suffer. It's only, maybe she'll be gone by day 12, But your listeners, if you can, download that PDF, Mosh. This is all Mosh, okay? It's not me. I don't know anything about gigahertz or frequency or kill zone or 60 gigahertz. This is unbelievable. He goes right into the belly of the beast where the Jesuits are doing their meeting. And he hears everything. He sees everything. I don't know if they see him. They might. I don't know. But he's got all the information. He passes it on through me. And the people, if it resonates with you, But September 15th, if your city goes into lockdown, it's going to be a kill zone.
Amazing stuff. Well, Linda, I want to thank you tremendously for being a part of the program yet again. I had a great time talking to you here, and it was terrifying at times.
I gave you a reading. I read you what Mosh wrote,
It was terrifying,
It's almost like, what'd you say?
I said it was terrifying.
Yeah, it is, especially with the safe zone, these people who think they're going to be kings and queens in America, They think they're going to be safe. Their death is going to be horrific. Karma, right?
Amazing.
Yeah. And I hope they listen to this podcast. Well, if you want to listen to my podcast, LindaEmmanuel.com. Just Google my name in the microphone. You'll get I'll be right there in the top, and all my videos are on YouTube, and I'm a truther, and I can take some emails, asking about certain cities, and Mosh will answer. Like right when you were doing something, I would ask him and got the answers. And QAnon or whatever that was, that's of the light right now. It's not infiltrated. It's okay. The people behind it are of the light. I don't know what they are putting out, but they're good intentions.
Understood. And that's LindaEmmanuel.com. And that is with an E for those that are wondering. LindaEmmanuel.com.
Yeah. It means God is with us.
Right.
That's my pen name. I better not say my real name. Somebody will find me.
Someone will find you. Yeah, that's true. Be careful.
I don't want to be found. I want to hide right now. I mean, I crossed the line with all this, but I'm going ahead with it. This means life and death for some people.
Absolutely.
Especially this escaping the kill zone, because the Jesuits think you're so stupid that you won't turn off your breakers on day one. That day one is critical, that you shut off and that will make a big difference for survival, okay? And this PDF is on my website on the very front page near the top. And you can just save it and pass it around, do whatever you want, write a screenplay on it. It'd make a sci-fi, wouldn't it?
It sure would.
It's like a nightmare.
Yes, that's a great way to describe it.
Yeah, it's been my nightmare for about a week now, this thing. When I put this on paper, I'm like, oh my gosh. This last thing, these elitists who are running our country, these Americans who were born on this soil, they don't know what's coming for them. They're going to die worse than we are. And they're going to know it too. They're going to know they were deceived and they were tricked, and they're going to witness the Holocaust. They're going to witness the burnt offerings with the buildings exploding and igniting. They're going to be right in the middle of it. And they're strategically placing these safe zones inside. You don't want to be in a safe zone inside unless you can get out. You know what I mean? And you're already in a safe zone if you turn off your smart meter. You're going to be safer. You're going to survive better the first 10 days. And you're going to be able to make it out. Oh, the Jesuits aren't going to like us, are they?
Not at all.
Oh, well, thank you for having me on. Thank you for putting up with me.
You got it, Linda. We'll do this again soon.
Okay, yeah, I'll have more cities. I'll be able to podcast, Mosh says, through maybe October 15th. They're going to cut the cell phone and the internet in St. Louis City because they don't want people communicating this out. They're trying to keep this suppressed so nobody figures it out. It's like the slow pot kill with the frog,
Right.
They don't want people to get aware of this. And you putting this out going to give a heads up to people. They'll know what happened. And they're not going to kill the people in St. Louis, Martha. They're not going to kill us. Like kill witnesses,
Hopefully
and,
not.
most of the people in St. Louis aren't going to even know what happened. They're going to think the people in St. Louis County all died of COVID because they're all sheep. That's what they're going to blame it on. And then, maybe people will flock to get the vaccine,
We will find out. Once again, thank you so much, Linda. We'll talk soon.
Okay. Thank you, Michael.
Good night.
Have a nice evening.
You
Bye.
too. Bye-bye. And there she goes, boys and girls. That was Linda Emmanuel. Go check out her website over at lindaemmanuel.com. And my goodness, that was truly something else. And looking at the clock now, I do apologize, boys and girls. We do have to cut this one slightly short here, and time has flown by yet again. And I do want to thank all of you out there, especially you in the chat room. Thanks for hanging around here with us and listening to all this very, very thought-provoking content here. Very frightening stuff we heard tonight. Remember, you can get a hold of me during this program via Twitter if you are not in the chat room. Michael Decon, at Michael Decon. That's where you can find me over on Twitter. And don't forget, if you are a listener, a hardcore listener of this program, and you want bonus content, you can direct yourself to patreon.com/Michael Decon, and that is where you'll find bonus material. Speaking of which, I believe Max Cole will be on very soon, as well as Oli Damagard. Yes, 2 great shows coming at you and much more ahead. Speaking of which, I do want to thank the international listeners again. So many nice emails I get from those great folks out there in Norway, Brazil, Spain, and the UK and Canada. Lots of great listeners there. And of course, if you have not subscribed to the podcast rendition of this program, please do so. iTunes, Google Play, Castbox, and Stitcher. Interesting night yet again, boys and girls. I hope you enjoyed it as much as I did. The mind continues to race. Stay safe, everyone, no matter where you are on this island Earth. I'm Michael Decon, and with that said, the world is a mysterious place, and life itself is a mystery. Until next time, good night, everybody.